FAU Wave program is an undergraduate applied research and entrepreneurial competition.
Yes.
So any student that has an idea for a for-profit, a nonprofit, a project, an invention, whether new or existing and you want to improve upon it, that's where we come in. So we help develop the project. We give students $500 to start the development, and they have 2 semesters to go through the process. At the end, there's an award ceremony in which the top 3 win a cash prize and also connections to industry experts and other programs here at FAU. Because if you're not ready for it, or if you're hesitant, that will kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
So you can, kind of half-step your way into it and say, oh, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah.
But who gets excited to hear you say, I kind of want to do something?
Yeah.
Nobody. You can't half put yourself out there. Your reaction to what you want needs to be 100%, and it needs to be completely embodied by you. And if that's not the case, maybe then that's not your path. Maybe then you're still working your way to get to something that gets you 100% motivated and driven. And sometimes we keep working our entire lives trying to figure that out. But if you figure that out and you know your mission, your reaction should be on point, just naturally. But that's a huge point. It's always about how you take in the information and then what do you do with it, because nobody's gonna do it for you.
Right. So some people kinda, some people gonna.
Yeah.
So Regina, talking about you, like, what are you gonna do? Like, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Unlimited Power Show. My name is Edward Gills, and today I have the absolute pleasure of introducing to you guys Regina Gonzalez. So Regina, how's everything going with you today?
Everything's great, can't complain. Busy day, but it's beautiful outside and we're alive and we're well.
Beautiful outside, beautiful dress, beautiful necklace. She got it going on.
I dressed up for you all.
So if you're far away, I just need to give her a clap for her beautiful, well-put dress. Now, next time I will go accordingly, look just as great. So one thing I say here on the Unlimited Power Show is I don't like introducing anyone. Reason why I don't introduce people is because people usually make the best first impression when they introduce themselves. So Regina Gonzalez, why don't you give us a quick introduction about you, your life, how you see yourself, and go for it.
Okay, well, as you know, my name is Regina Gonzalez, and I'm originally from Miami, Florida, firstborn American of my family of immigrants, so I'm very proud of that. My mom is Polish, my dad's Bolivian, so we're from a hardworking middle-class family. I always loved theater and being theatrical growing up, so I went to New World School of the Arts for theater. Then I went to UCF for my BA in theater. Then I moved to New York to pursue the dream, right? And then it was super difficult. And then I came back and followed a different path in the fitness industry. Started managing at gyms down in Miami. Decided to go back to school, get my MBA in marketing at Nova Southeastern. And then I found myself missing the college and university environment. So I just applied like crazy to all the universities, hoping to get a foot in the door. That way I could work and mentor students and empower them along the way. So it took a while to get here, but I'm very happy to be here, and I feel I finally found my footing.
That's beautiful. No, I love it here. That's probably why I'm still here. It's time to go, Ed, but I'm still here.
Nope, never time to go.
Hey, theater, like, I took an acting 1 class. It was so amazing. I enjoyed it so much because I got a chance to be myself around a lot of people who got the chance to be themselves, and it was pretty good. Would you say that was like a pivotal, like a transforming thing for you, like as far as being in theater? How was it like doing that?
Definitely. I would suggest everybody go into an art class, theater or dance or singing, something to bring you out of your shell. That way you get more comfortable speaking to people, and you're more comfortable with yourself as well. That was something that I always wanted to do. I loved being in the spotlight. I loved presenting. I loved acting. I loved being silly and having people entertained by my presence. That's just something that was in me. However, some people don't have that, so I would encourage them to push themselves outside of their comfort zone and to be silly and have fun and go into an intro to acting class or to another class that's artistic that maybe you feel you're not good at, and that way you can take those skills with you during life.
So you're using those skills every day. Like, as one thing I see too within our generation, we have a small barrier when it comes to conversing with each other, you know, like having a conversation. If I met a stranger, you know, it'll be, a lot of people are hard to talk, like they're hard to get their words out, or at least wanting to talk and express themselves. So I think that's something that we all need to kind of like work on, is because that's something we're going to carry on for the rest of our lives. It's like we have to communicate some way or another.
Right, and a huge challenge now, especially with the millennial generation, is technology. It's in your face all day, every day. Everything is so accessible, which is great because we've come a long way. Technologically speaking, things are easier now. You know, I grew up when the internet started coming out. So the internet was still this taboo thing that you couldn't use as a resource or a reference at school. And now it's all you use. And now we're losing that instinctual connection to people because all we're doing is typing behind a keyboard or over our phone or just some kind of electronic device. People forget that main just connection that you crave. A lot of people want it, but they just don't know how to connect anymore because they're so stuck behind a screen.
Yeah. But, you know, some people will like say, well, you know, my computer has helped me grow tremendously because it gave me access to people I would never had access to. Or like, for instance, if I'm an app developer, I'm creating a whole new business online on the computer, and I'm literally connecting people from all over the world with this beautiful app. So do you think that it, you know, it has its good and it has its bad, and how do we kind of like have a balance between those two things, you know, using technology for good and, you know?
Well, definitely. Technology is like a tool, so it's neutral. It's the person who uses it who makes it good or makes it bad. So in that instance, of course, you're going to need technology for your app, for your software, for your, if you're gathering income, if you're gathering resources, if you're gathering connections. There's no way you can reach all of the same people going face to face to face to face. Technology gives us that efficiency.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it's great to keep us connected. But I think the balance comes where you don't just let it become your one and only. It could be a tool that you can use in addition to in-person connections, face-to-face connections. For instance, I don't know if I would have been looked at for the current position that I'm in had I not physically went face-to-face after applying and handed my resume and gotten to know the people who were in that office. I don't know if that was a deciding factor, but it obviously didn't hurt. So I use the computer as an asset, but I also use my in-person skills to communicate as an asset.
So, you know, speaking of creating great technologies, now we're in the space of everyone is trying to create the next Facebook, the next Instagram, the next big app, because we're literally in the web of things, you know? It's like everything the way we've done business before is now shifting. So, you know, talking about the Wave program, what got you into that? You know, what got you interested in actually being part of the FAU Wave program?
Absolutely. So the FAU Wave program is an undergraduate applied research and entrepreneurial competition.
Yes.
So any student that has an idea for a for-profit, a nonprofit, a project, an invention, whether new or existing and you want to improve upon it, that's where we come in. So we help develop the project. We give students $500 to start the development, and they have 2 semesters to go through the process. At the end, there's an award ceremony in which the top 3 win a cash prize and also connections to industry experts and other programs here at FAU. What I loved about it is that it encapsulated all of the parts of my personality. The mentoring aspect and empowering and educating students, because I knew that I wanted to be in a collegiate environment and I knew that I wanted to work with students. I didn't have blinders on that said, okay, I have to do just one thing. what I knew in my gut was that,
Yes.
working with students and mentoring them. So when I saw that come up on job listings, I went for it. It spoke to every aspect of me. Now, the business side, I love that aspect as well, because having managerial experience, I know the inner workings of a business and what you need at least to start off, because I physically went through that. So I love being able to foster that development with a student, especially if they're passionate about their product or their idea. Anytime I think about something that could help them, I'll be there for them, regardless of whether they're done with the program or not. So I love that business aspect of it, but I also love the nurturing and empowering and educating aspect of it.
Nurturing, empowering, and educating. You know something that you said that stick with me? And one thing I realized about life is that when you're not so narrow focused on a career, on a profession, on a business, when you focus on an idea, when you focus on the idea of doing something outside yourself, you can then apply that to whatever else you do. So one thing I say, my mission in life is to inspire, motivate, uplift people to live a whole mind, body, and nutrition. I came up with this mission when I was a personal trainer. And I thought that I had to be a personal trainer to do it. And then I realized I can do this the rest of my life through all professions. I was like, I can be a janitor, and I could talk to my janitor and be like, why are you eating those chips? They're going to kill you.
I think I do that now.
Because I've been a fitness coach. That's what I do. So I've carried that mentality that I have a bigger mission and that I can start applying it in different ways. And who knows what the final fabric of life will be.
Right. It's being flexible, adaptable, versatile. I initially put myself in a box saying, okay, I'm going to go back to school for my MBA. I'm going to go for marketing, and I'm going to get a marketing job and work my way to CEO, and just do all this marketing for what I just figured that's where I would be. And when I started interning to actually do marketing, I hated it. And I thought to myself, uh-oh, I'm getting a degree in something I actually don't like in the real world. What do I do now? Because you're thinking, oh, I can only empower this way, or I can only educate in this way. That's not true. If you are true to your innate abilities and what drives you, there's a position for you. You may not know the title when you're looking for it, but when you see it, it'll just click.
It'll just click.
Yeah.
And then when you get in it, it'll just stick.
I hope so.
Right?
And then go from there.
So I love of all the resources FAU has, for entrepreneurs. I think it's really great because when I came to this campus, initially I felt like the infrastructure wasn't for ed, because I was coming to college and I was this really smart guy graduating with top of the class. And then I was like, why I have to do these classes again? I took these classes in high school. I just wish at that moment that I would have those programs would have been there to keep me focused. But then I realized that, hey, everything happens for a reason, right? But now that FAU started putting all of these different entrepreneurship programs, I think it's so empowering for so many people with so many great ideas without the means to do it. And I'm just really, really happy about that. So I'm an entrepreneur, I have a lot of ideas, How would I go about finding the resources available to me to just kind of construct a team to help me put that idea? What do you know of that would help me in that sense?
Absolutely. So if I were you, I would start at home base, so to speak, which would be FAU, where you know the most people, where you have the most connections. Just spreading the word as much as possible, using technology as a tool to help you,
yes,
but not losing your communication abilities. So I would just throw the idea out there and put out that energy into the universe, into technology, into talking to people. You need to live and breathe your mission so that when you come into contact with somebody, the ball just gets rolling. It's this weird thing that I completely believe in, that when you are so driven in something, people just kind of line up to help you. You just need to talk about it, and you need to put it out there in whatever way that is. If it's posting it on Facebook, if it's doing these interviews, if it's interactions with people in the hallway, if it's talking to friends, families, classmates, professors, past co-workers, current co-workers, you need to start creating the energy. And then this person will know this person who knows this person, and then it'll slowly come together. And before you know it, you're going to be working with a strong team who have different skill sets to complement yours. So I think the first step would be working with what you have right now, and then looking for programs on campus that are available to you, like the FAU Wave. There's also Tech Runway, which is an accelerator hub right behind campus by the Boca Airport. They have an entrepreneurial boot camp and a launch competition. The Adams Center for Entrepreneurship in the College of Business, that's another great venue. They also have the business plan competition. There are so many things on campus for you and other students to take advantage of. You just have to get out there and look.
Yeah, just have to get out there and look.
Right.
I think that's powerful. You know, so if we were to go back, like acting, right? Remember when we was acting, it was just like, it was less of like how your like, what your thoughts of how this character should play out. It's also about how you're responding, you know. Like one thing my instructor was telling me, or my teacher was telling me, is that it's the response, you know, to that other person. So yes, you know, you can put out the energy, but if it comes to you and you're not responding to it a certain way, then it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to then, you know, make that happen, make the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good point, because if you're not ready for it, or if you're hesitant, that will kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
So you can, you know, kind of half step your way into it and say, oh, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah.
But who gets excited to hear you say, I kind of want to do something?
Yeah.
Nobody. You can't half put yourself out there. Your reaction to what you want needs to be 100%. And it needs to be completely embodied by you. And if that's not the case, maybe then that's not your path. Maybe then you're still working your way to get to something that gets you 100% motivated and driven. And sometimes we keep working our entire lives trying to figure that out. But if you figure that out and you know your mission, your reaction should be on point, just naturally. But that's a huge point. It's always about how you take in the information, and then what do you do with it? Because nobody's gonna do it for you.
Right. So some people kinda, some people gonna.
Yeah.
So Regina, you know, talking about you, like, what are you gonna do? Like, like, what do you see yourself doing in the next 15 years? You know, like, let's picture, because yesterday I wrote myself a vision statement. It was so empowering when I was reading it. And now I'm gonna read it every morning because it's just so empowering to read it. What are you gonna do in the next 15 years?
Well, I feel like it's a long time, but it's not. It probably just goes like this.
Yeah.
Well, professionally, definitely work my way up the ladder, work towards being a director. I foresee myself being in charge of multiple student entrepreneurial programs, which is, I feel, slowly happening right now. As long as I continue the path and continue doing a good job, I can see myself fostering multiple programs at once and just taking off from there. I don't see myself leaving FAU. I love Florida and I love the environment I'm in. You never know in the future, though, where life can take you. Personally, I foresee myself hopefully with a family and also a house and a husband. And professionally, just continuing to educate and empower. I just feel like that's my thing. I've always just empowered my friends. I've always empowered the people that I've come across. If someone's going through something, I always feel a need to lift them up, because I can't stand playing the victim or anything like that. I love to say, okay, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Sure, you can complain about it, But after your 2 minutes of complaining, guess what? What are you going to change?
Yeah.
So I just foresee myself constantly embodying that vision. And like I said, I'm not going to put myself in a box anymore.
Right.
If that turns into something else, then it turns into something else, and I'll be totally happy with it.
You might wake up one day and said, listen, I'm going to empower all the entrepreneurs here in the United States of America.
You never know.
And then you're on the stage and empowering in the masses. You know, a lot of times, you know, there are people who are innately entrepreneurs, but like you said, they may have come from a background where they're not used to seeing that. You know, they're not used to seeing their mother being an entrepreneur. You know, when I tell my mom always tell me, make sure you have a job. I'm like, yeah, Mom. I was like, Mom, we're already millionaires. We just don't have the money yet. We're gonna be there. But what do you say to those people? Those people who they know there's a little light inside of them, but it's just small because it's been dimmed down every day by other people. What do you say to those entrepreneurs upcoming?
I would say the biggest indicator of success is your grit. How even if someone dims that light inside of you, which can happen from time to time, you need to refuel, have a vision board, have a mission statement, have a positive statement that you can always refer back to, gain that confidence back, and keep going at it. Never, ever, ever let that light completely fade or go out. Confidence and grit are incredibly important, because if you experience a setback, you are better equipped to move past it and get past it and persevere with those two things. If you're lacking the self-esteem and you're too insecure and you just get lazy or unmotivated, then that light is definitely gonna fade.
Yeah.
But if you can move past that and know that there's better things coming for you, that's all that you need. You have to stay positive.
Gotta stay positive. I think that's 100% true. I think grit is the most important attribute anyone can have in life in general. You know, speaking of that light, the greatest light, you know, when the lights come on here in the studio, it's awesome because like we're on the stage and we're just like literally reflecting this artificial light with, I'm blind now, I can't see us looking into the light.
Can't look at it.
Don't look into the light. So the artificial light, our soul is reflecting the real light inside, the soul light, you know, the light of the soul. Do you believe that you ever get back into acting or like into theater, or like will you make a movie, you know? Like, are you gonna let that light come back on the surface one day?
I have, the love is never gone.
Yeah.
That's definitely there. I don't know. I mean, I've done student films and improv with a group back in Miami, and it was a lot of fun. It's just, it's hard when you go through your day-to-day life, and obviously you need to pay bills and what have you, and stay fit, as you know, personal training, go to the gym, take care of errands and all of that. Currently I find it hard to find the time to do that. And I also find, I guess, a fulfillment in my current career and position.
Yes.
That even though the love is still there, it's not as strong as it was maybe 10 years ago. Like, I felt I really needed to do it 10 or so years ago. Now I don't feel such a huge need. It's more just like a nice, playful idea. So if someone were to come up to me and say, hey, you want to be in my movie? I'd say, sure.
Yeah.
I'd still do it.
Brandon, can you please ask Regina if she's gonna be in your movie? He's a director right there.
There you go. I would audition, of course. I wouldn't just expect you to accept me. I probably would have to audition for you.
You know, I think you'd be great. You know, here's the thing. I have a little, in the back of my head, I'm like, one day, I'm going to be an actor. Yeah, I'm going to like do it. You know, I'm going to try it. You know, there's plenty of people who've done it. They've done something else. They became an actor or something. I was like, I could actually use that to impact the world. Because here's what we're focused on.
Good.
Media, media, media. Media is big, it's huge, it's humongous. So sometimes we try to we can impact people in person, which is the best way we should do it every day. But we can impact the masses if we create films that's less carnal and more with deeper meaning. So I think at any point in life when you've achieved great success in this endeavor, that you can take it all in together and just, you know, you never know which entrepreneur you're gonna help build to become the next Steve Jobs. Maybe you're gonna be the actor in that movie. Maybe you're gonna make that movie. So I think sometimes we acquire skills from our past, from our youth, and then eventually at some point in life it becomes the surface and we begin to take it all and just put it all together. The next thing we know, we're like, whoa, I didn't understand why I was here, but I was just getting ready for that role, you know, in the future. So I think that maybe that dream hasn't been dead. Maybe it's just been fostered in a different way, ready to be brought to light at some point in the future.
It's quite possible, and that's a really huge thing that you said that I see a lot nowadays, how art influences and imitates life and vice versa, and a lot of times we don't have good influencers in that respect, whether it's movies, TV shows, music. It's always nice and refreshing when someone has a message that brings either hope or something uplifting to the masses rather than just the constant same old thing. And you're just, yeah.
And I don't think it has to be like a Hollywood film anymore. The thing is, we could make movies, 1-minute movies, 2-minute movies, 3-minute movies. That's the beauty of that, you know, because people feed off that enthusiasm. They feed off that passion for that specific thing. So, you know, that's just my feelings about it, and I just wanted to share that. You know, in saying that, what do you think is the most important thing that you have like right now in your life? You know, like besides, you know, the job that you do or the passion that you have, what do you think is the most important thing you have in your life in general?
As a physical thing or anything?
No, just anything. You know, I just pretty broad.
I would say, well, besides God, because that's very important, I would say love. You have to have love in pretty much everything. With what you do, the people you interact with on a daily basis, your friends, your family, your significant other. You have to have love with what you do. If you don't have that, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's very true. So what's your definition of love?
It would be something that gets you excited to wake up in the morning. It would be something that makes you feel peaceful, calm, grounded. Just an overwhelming sense of belonging and together. And that could be defined with people in different ways.
So what do you normally do when you wake up in the morning?
Besides brush my teeth and do my contacts and all that, I probably go, and hit the alarm. Well, really, honestly, I get ready. I'm not the best morning person, I'm not gonna lie. I get ready in a time crunch, and then on my way to work, I typically try to have like a little bit of quiet time, even if it's while I'm driving, so I can say a little prayer and just talk over the people in my life and my day, and just, you know, kind of hope and pray for the best. And then I listen to funny like talk radio stuff so that I can laugh. Those are the two things basically that I always do.
So what's your top morning show?
Y100 is really funny to me with Elvis Duran. And then the other one that makes me laugh when I need a piece of Miami is Power 96 with DJ Laz.
Yeah.
Those two I always interchange because sometimes one is saying something I'm not interested in, so I gotta go to the other one. So they just make me laugh.
That's dope. You know, I think laughter is so important. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all day I've been smiling because you've been smiling. You know, it's contagious. And I think that's the most important thing that we all can get. It's a gift. It's a gift that we give every day. You know, the smile is beautiful. You know, thank you for that gift.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
So, Regina, it was very interesting getting to know you and getting to know what you're all about here on the Unlimited Power Show. And, you know, I believe that people with great hearts will always excel in whatever they do because they're filling the gap in our society, which is people who do things without a heart. A lot of people, you know, they just come and go, but there's no emotion to it, no heart, and it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? If you get in front of a crowd and you're not passionate about what you're talking about, then the kids won't be passionate about it. I won't be interested. And I see it all the time, and we need more people that's more excited and more enthusiastic about what's going on. So, you know, I thank you for that. And one thing I like to say on the show is I like to leave one thing with the audience. Now, we've been talking about the FAU entrepreneurship. We've been talking about a little bit of your life and everything. What's one thing that you can urge, since we're directing this to college students, to, you know, start on their idea, maybe finding what they really want to do? You know, you said marketing, but it wasn't really the thing. So how do they find out? What's one thing you could leave with them to empower them, you know, to find that thing?
I would say get involved, do extracurricular activities, be a part of a group, go to social activities on campus, meet people, talk to people. If you're not comfortable with that, talk to your professor, your favorite professor. Talk to your favorite staff member here on campus. Talk to a sibling. Talk to somebody and say, hey, I've been thinking about doing, you know, X, Y, and Z, playwriting, music, dancing, whatever it is, just try it. Because honestly, if it's something that lights you up and you get excited about it, you need to follow that, because you never know where that's going to take you. And then if you have an idea, I'm going to do a shameless plug now.
No, I was going to ask you to do it.
If you have an idea for a project or a business, the applications for the FAU Wave are now open until October 1st. So just email FAU Wave at fau.edu and I'll direct you to the application. That's FAU Wave at fau.edu. Anything that you're passionate about, could be a hobby of yours, could be related to your discipline or unrelated to your discipline. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that you have an idea and we want to help you develop it.
Thank you. Regina Gonzalez, everybody. I believe that if you want something so badly, you should always remember that something doesn't define you. But if it's going somewhere or impacting someone, then you could take that and to bring it to anything that you do. So greatness awaits. And like I always say, you have the unlimited power to achieve whatever it is that you want. But until you believe that, the world will forever miss your talents, your gifts, and all the great things that you have to offer. So don't let anyone dim your light. Don't let anyone trump your business idea. Don't let small minds close out your big dreams. Let your light shine, don't hide it, don't dim it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming, Regina.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, and cut. Good job.
That was cool. That was more of a conversation.
Yes.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video.